So let's get into another CGWC hand. This time a limped pot, LLinusLL0ve versus riggedeck. I think this is a pretty good combo to limp. It might limp a lot, maybe even pure, I don't know. A riggedeck pretty standard ISO, and I don't think this limp-RERAISE is standard, although it might happen on a very low frequency and it's probably close in EV. Yeah, I think being polarized as he is, I think Linus is gonna have a bunch of checks here, maybe even betting big or check kind of strategy. Riggedeck can bet or check the flop probably. LLinusLL0ve I think has a pretty good turn check here, you know, being that he doesn't really fold out better or whatnot. Riggedeck now I think is required to start betting the turn. He's very, very high up in his range, very strong. It's probably a mandatory bet. And LLinusLL0ve, the call makes sense and definitely checking on the river, and riggedeck probably does have a value bet here. Yeah, I seem to be sure about all these decisions, but let's dive into the solver and see if we actually spot any surprises here. Look at the pre-flop. Linus indeed has a good limping hand, but is also raising it, mostly limping. Interestingly, the ace-jack is not pure ISOing, it does have some checks. And the jack-7 is allowed to limp-RERAISE for a low frequency. And I think Linus is rolling in these situations. So the ace-jack is clicking it back sometimes, interestingly, and then folding to the shove. So let's go to post-flop. Okay, so Linus does have a polarizing c-betting strategy. Right, he either hits this flop quite well with hands that riggedeck doesn't really have, like ace-queen and ace-king. Riggedeck still has a strong calling range here that hits this board fairly well and is also in position, so Linus is in fact checking a lot and just betting big with his strong hands, right, with his sort of nut advantage, being supported by a bunch of necessary bluffs like draws, bottom pairs and even some air, but not completely air. Like hands like jack-9 without the backdoor flush draw cannot c-bet, or 5-4 of clubs cannot c-bet. So he's mostly supporting this strong ace-king, ace-queen type c-bets with draws and bottom pairs and backdoor flush draws. The other ones just don't have the required potential or equity to c-bet that large against a relatively strong range that is also in position. Jack-7, however, is a pure check indeed. Right, it doesn't mind letting a turn and river roll, right? Such high equity. Hitting the flush is great, can extract value that way just by checking, letting the flush hit on the turn and the river and just somehow extracting value, or letting him bluff or whatever, letting him hit, letting him bluff, etc. Right, it doesn't really fold out anything better too much. And it just seems like a pretty, great checking hand in that regard. Now, I know Linus is married to the 72% bet, so we're gonna give him the 72. Riggedeck can indeed, is checking back almost every ace, even ace-queens, so ace-jack. His combo is betting a lot, but he can definitely checking this a little bit. 3 of diamonds hit, and I suppose Linus is still just gonna check his jack-7, just by the same logic, really. Yeah, it's close to betting, but it's pretty much still pure checking, because the 3 is a blank, and you know, it's then the same logic seems to apply. Gonna change the 72% again. Linus always chooses this. And gonna change riggedeck sizing to the 21 BB he chose. And I said the ace-jack is now a mandatory bet, and it's actually not. It's still checking, right? It's still facing a polarized range. So it's actually checking back a hand that is still behind the ace-king and ace-queen and other slow plays that Linus may have. And is, checking back sometimes in GTO. Interesting. Now, jack-7, it seems like there's nothing else that you can do than call. 4 of hearts. I don't think Linus is gonna have any shoves here. And the ace-jack I thought was a value bet, and oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I'm always biased by their actions maybe, but yeah, I thought it was a value bet, but I guess riggedeck was also wrong with his decision here by value betting the ace-jack without the heart. Because even though ace-jack with the hearts are, but even this one, it's not about the heart even this one is checking. And this one is betting, so it's very close, obviously, anyway, right? And the ace-10 is that's the cutoff. The ace-jack is really the cutoff value bet here. Ace-10 of diamonds is really the last one value betting, and the ace-jacks are mixing. The ace-jack suited are betting more often. Ace Jack is really hardcore mixing. It doesn't really even matter, like the hearts. Yeah, there's some hearts here, but it doesn't seem to really matter. It's like really getting into the weeds here. Like the ace of diamonds seems to check a lot somehow. I don't know, does it have to do with, you know, unblocking more ace fours? The ace of having the ace of diamonds, is it that close that it's unblocking more ace fours like this, while the ace four of diamonds is less in the range because of the flush draw? Maybe it's that, right? There's the one to pair, the ace four, and with the ace of diamonds we're unblocking these ace fours that are more in the range than the ace four of diamonds. It's at least very, very close for rig deck. I thought we could value bet this, but it's really, really close here on the river. Well played, both pretty much in line with GTO. These are top level players and I love watching them. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.